Almost.
Oh.
Hey, oh, yep. I was ready. Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, cover the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. Man of the People, joined by the First Lady of Carolina Blitz. Is that a good name?
The only lady. Well, no, not the only.
The
Yeah.
boss.
First lady. Boss lady. Yes.
She played for the team she owns. Is that a good way to put it?
That's in my bio.
Vash, I heard with Carolina Blitz. Link will be in the description. Please check her out. Support her, another fellow independent media person doing big things covering pro and college sports. Vash, I had to bring you on. I'm glad you got the SOS because you get to go in the locker room. I don't get to.
Right.
So I'd love to just take a moment to let me know about that locker room atmosphere and any highlights that you saw from being inside of there.
Well, of course, it was more jovial than what we've seen in a while since actually the Cincinnati game. By the time we got in there after Bryce Young and Dave Canales spoke, there weren't many people in there. We spoke to JC, we spoke to Xavier Leggett, Rob Hunt, JT Sanders, all key components in today's win. But what stuck out to me is Bryce. Everybody's different after a win. But he was smiling. He was happy. I saw a couple of people on Twitter and said that Alabama Bryce is back. I wouldn't go that far. I'd let a few more games get under his belt, a few more wins specifically. But winning changes things. Winning changes people. And we saw a happy Bryce.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important.
You asked him a question at the podium, I believe, right?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, but I felt like it was some good interaction you got from him.
I asked a couple of questions. I asked him what was going through his mind prior to that last game-winning drive. He said, "Where else would you rather be?" And that's that dog mentality we hear about. It's subdued from Bryce, but it's there. And he talked about being blessed and how wanting to lead that drive, and that was important to him. And I asked him how he was going to celebrate, and he said he's going to go get some food with his people.
Didn't say where, did he?
No, of course not. We're not going to bombard the guy. Rob Hunt is going to have some Michelob Lights.
Okay.
And the guys are going to celebrate tonight. They deserve it. And that'll make that 8-hour flight to Germany this week much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on you from this game today, seeing the home victory for
dub.
the first time in 322 days?
It's a dub. I don't like teams. I dislike fan bases. And the Saints are kind of up there for me.
Okay.
I think that their fan base is obnoxious. So anytime you can send them home and back to New Orleans, baby, with a loss, it's good over here. We up in the city.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Again, Vash, I heard from Carolina Blitz, taking some time out of her day to join and share with you guys and myself as well some of the feedback from being inside of that locker room. So lots more content will be forthcoming about the game, and not the game, but the press conference and the guys in the locker room. So next thing that we are going to do is go ahead and share with you guys some of the great photographs that we get. Hey, I think you guys are starting to catch on, right? I make a video before the games now saying if you see a great picture or if you want to see great pictures from the game, good or bad, we just tell the story. Make sure that you lock it into our Twitter account on Charlotte Vibe, and a lot of great responses out there, so please continue to tune in. And I just have one favor about the pictures, right? If you like one, just make sure you retweet it, share it with the rest. It helps us small, independent guys grow to be bigger and better. And also, I just forgot, there's one other thing. We have a GoFundMe that we've started. So you see this headset that I got on? Vashti did not have on one. Why? Because we have not been able to purchase the other two. So there is a link in the description for those that are able and willing to go and click on that and join us in our GoFundMe to get the funds needed for some more equipment. And we're also going to be traveling to Germany. We are going to Germany. Let me give myself a round of applause for this Germany thing. I am extremely excited that we got this win today because that trip to Germany was looking tough. We were going to do our thing regardless. If they had a loss today, we're going to Germany with the attitude of bringing you the most content that you're going to get from anywhere. And now with that victory today, it just makes it a little bit easier knowing that we're going to have that flight over to Germany. And myself will have an extra train ride countryside trip due to my purchasing a trip to the wrong city. If you have not heard, I'm going to be flying into Frankfurt, Germany. I don't know why, but I guess I like to explore. And then I'm going to take the train over to Munich And, hey, that means more bonus content for you guys coming up, all right? So let's go ahead and dive on into these photographs, which are beyond excellent. And we were cranking these things out during the game. Shouts out to the rest of the Charlotte Vibe crew, Patrick and VJ, for getting those pictures up. You guys loved them. And, best place by far to get Panthers photos during the game. Let's go ahead and start to walk into it, all right? We got this picture right here with Derek Carr being under pressure and sacked. I believe this was the only sack that we had. We got the stats coming up here soon. But, hey, could not have been a better time to have that sack than when we did have it in the game. Gave us a chance to go into victory formation, which you have not seen victory formation in Charlotte in how long? It seemed like it's been forever, but that was great to see. We also got here the game-winning touchdown by Chuba Hubbard, which is excellent. And it seemed like Chuba was going to slide in at the last minute. I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if media's had a chance to ask him, but that was a great, great touchdown and shot by Patrick Snyder, catching Chuba there. And then we have right here Alvin Kamara stopped late in the fourth quarter by Shy Tuttle, 99. That's an old number, Kawan Short right there. You longtime Panther fans remember that number. I don't know why that just stuck out in my head, but nevertheless, a great photograph right there. And then we got here some great defense being played by none other than not Michael. He likes to be called Mike by the media, but Mike Jackson breaking up that pass there. And we'll continue to rock through these photographs here. Hey. If you're happy and you know it, scream, says Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton letting out some energy. He's a guy who's been here for quite a while and got a chance to get that victory again. 322 days since we have gotten a home victory. We got one in Las Vegas, and what was that, the third week of the season? And beyond that, we're going to be using the sound effect here a lot. Let's give a little round of applause to Bryce Young, who got his first victory with his new head coach, Dave Canales. Those two got their first victory together. This is Dave's second. He got that first one with Andy. Now he's got it with Bryce. And you guys may be wondering about the whole quarterback thing. We're going to talk about it some more. But again, hey, do me a favor, hit that like button. Help us continue to grow, show your support of the channel. And again, I'm excited. We're going to Germany. I'll be going to Germany Wednesday, land technically Thursday morning in Germany time. And we'll just be having a blast keeping you guys up to date with all the coverage once we do get to Germany. And just continue to work through these photographs here. Man, this was so close. This was so close right here with Coker getting the catch, turning and running, and then I think they said he stepped out at about the 3-yard line or something like that, pretty close. But Coker continues to be a pleasant surprise for the Carolina Panthers, undrafted free agent. And we got a new name that we're going to try to push. That new name is Coker Crew is what we're going to come up with. If that sticks, you guys got to give Rashad from Panther Nation Podcast credit for that one. And then you got the owner of Dollar Bill here catching a touchdown from Bryce Young. And, man, I forget how many TDs he now has on the season. It's 4 or 5, but that's good stuff. That's promising. We did not have Deontay Johnson. We're not going to have Deontay Johnson as he's now been traded to the Baltimore Ravens. We got some more trades that could occur, but today certainly gave you a glimpse of hope and possibly the future with all these rookies playing some really good ball game. Really good ball game today. And here you have David Moore just out of the hands, just out of his reach. Nice pass from Bryce. And we're going to talk about Bryce as well here. But, hey, you guys, if you're liking these photographs, hit the like button. We're only at 104. I want more likes than that. Hey, the first win at home in almost a year. We got to be excited. How are you all feeling out there about this victory? Let me know. We'll continue to work through these photographs here. And there we have Coker. Just not able to bring that one in. That ball there was overthrown by Bryce the Coker, but great photo nevertheless. Bryce Young out there flexing the muscle. Bryce Young scrambling, getting the pass off early in the game. And I think we got one more photograph here to show you guys. Yes, yes. Not only is Taylor Moton happy, but Brady looks happy as well, celebrating, again, the first victory of this Carolina Panthers this season at home. And let me see if I can tell you guys what the current standings are in the NFL for the NFC South. I normally have this up before I get on here, but nevertheless, I can quickly get it on here for you. We'll not have a screen visual. I'm just going to have to listen to my sweet voice as I tell you guys the current standings for the NFC South. At the top, Atlanta Falcons are number one at 6-3. They won today. And then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4-4 in second place. And then we have your Carolina Panthers. It's funny, right, that I'm smiling big and they're not even in first place, but it's I can't hold it back, man. I'm happy to see this team not at the very bottom of the NFC South. They are in third place, tied technically with the New Orleans Saints, but they are in third place at 2-7. And then you have your New Orleans Saints, losers of 7 in a row, man. I heard there was some action in that tunnel. I can't repeat it all because I don't remember what he said, but essentially the New Orleans Saints were mad with one another. I think it was a defensive player and the quarterback that, had some unhappiness that they were displaying in that tunnel today after the game. So it's cool that we're on the winning side and not on the losing side. 7 in a row. As a matter of fact, the Saints, they beat the Carolina Panthers, they beat the Dallas Cowboys, and then they went up and played the new Philadelphia Eagles, and they have not won a game since. I think they're heading into the bye week down there in New Orleans, so there may be some news coming out of New Orleans about head coach Dennis Allen and his career, which is, man, that's tough. I don't know how many years he's been there. I guess a little over 2 because he took over when Sean Payton stepped away from the game. But nevertheless, Carolina Panthers in third place in the NFC South. So let's go ahead and take a look at some stats from the game. Injuries-wise, we came out pretty good. I know we had Xavier Legette that left the game, had that hand injury, and he returned in the second half and had some catches in that second half as well. So looks like we came out of this game pretty good, pretty unscathed with the from this game today versus the New Orleans Saints. All right, by the way, shouts out to the members. Let's get some shout out to these members really quickly. Darrell, Ali Bodrick, Knucklehead K. I now know what your name means. By the way, I met, oh my gosh, I'm going to remember her name. It was Amp something. You remember the name by chance? All right, I was talking to my producer off camera there, but met a lady, Amp something. I'm so sorry. I clearly remember her face, but it was when I first came in. Thank you for taking a moment to say hello, to give me some words of encouragement and showing some appreciation for what we do here at Charlotte Vibe. I ask you guys all the time, hey, if you see me, please say hello at least. If you want to take a picture or do more, we can. And so she did that, and thank you so much. The encouragement helps because certainly there's been some tough times, but you can't be man of the people if you're just going to bow out because there's a tough game or two. You got to stick with it. Just got to adjust my hand warmer here because you guys may know I get cold, and I'm not going to be cold. So, all right, let's go through some stats. Oh, let me make sure I get through. I'm so excited. I'm a little all over the place, so I'm going to slow it down and bring it back. T. Green saying she's late, but she's back. Thank you very much, T. Green. Again, for those who can and are able to, there is a GoFundMe link set up as we are trying to raise money to have more of these headsets that you see me have on here. They're a little over $200 a piece. We need to get 2 more, and we also need to get a new mixer to help out with powering these things. So if you're able to do so, click on that link, or, hey, you can click on it and share it with somebody else as well to help us continue to do what we do. Let's go ahead and take a look at these stats from today. All right, Bryce Young, 16 of 26 for 171 yards and an average of 6.6, 1 TD, 1 interception. So that passer rating there isn't spectacular, And that happens because of that interception there. But without that, it was a great game. Let me add this. That interception by Bryce was not anywhere near his fault. Hold on, I got to mute while I burp or something here. Hold on. So don't have the dump button, but since I am the controller, I have the mute button so you guys would not hear that. So, yeah, that interception that Bryce had was thrown to Xavier Legette, and he caught the ball, and then the Saints player just made an even better, more aggressive play on that ball, getting that interception, stripping it away from him. And, man, when he did so, everybody just it got quiet, and people were looking around because it was like, huh, what? What happened? How did that happen? But the replay showed it clearly. Xavier seemed like he didn't come down with it really tightly, and that could have been because of that hand injury that he did suffer early on in that first half of the game. But, again, the Saints player made a heck of a play, took it away from him. And at that point, you kind of felt like, oh, my goodness, here we go. But this team showed some resiliency today and coming back and, winning this game ultimately. Again, final score 23-22. But Bryce there with some really good stats. 16-26, that average, as I pointed out, and that passer rating. Let's go ahead and continue to make it on. What did you say here? I agree. Call Belichick. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing some things there in the comments that I would be able to understand what T. Green is talking about there. But we'll continue to work through here. Rushing. Let's look at the rushing stats from today's game. So Chuba Hubbard is your leading rusher today. 15 carries, 72 yards. Got up above that 4-yard average that he has been stuck at over these past two games with the Commanders and the Broncos. But he broke out of that trend, got back closer to the 5-yard average that he has, actually beyond 5 yards. 2 touchdowns by Chuba, and none better than late in the game to get the victory for today. Long of 16. Bryce scrambled 4 times, having a long of 9. And, man, that scramble that he had, that scramble that Bryce had, was that not a thing of beauty and showed the confidence that he has? You kind of like to see him a little bit better protected. I'm not saying he should have slide or not, but the way he kind of took that contact just to my right here going into the end zone was a little bit like, oh, but he got up unscathed, so that's good for Bryce to make it through on that, not being injured. And then we got some things to talk about here. We got some things to talk about with Miles Sanders. 2 carries, -5 yards. And I think we're going to see Miles again a little bit. Quick pause, guys. I've got to take another drink of this water here. I thought I hit mute, but I didn't, so I'm sorry. You guys would have heard me drinking nice and clearly there. But Miles Sanders, 2 carries, -5 yards. Devin Tompkins, -2 yards. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Devin here in a second, but Miles Sanders, it's not working out here in Charlotte. It's just not. And he's a competitive guy. He could still have some juice left in the tank and being a pretty good running back, but it's absolutely not working here in Charlotte. Got benched, and when he does get the ball, he's not going anywhere. So we talked about in the pregame about him being a possible guy to trade. I feel like certainly if you can get anything that helps build this team for the future, and again, it's not going to be something that's like, oh, man, guess what we got from Miles Sanders? We're going to be, it's not going to be something like that. Look at it as it being something that could help with the salary cap, getting us down lower, and then getting us some kind of pick in the future or something, all right? So we'll continue to move on here. All right, so right now I'm first going to jump to Miles again. 2 receptions, -5 yards. Now, if you go back to his rushing, 2 for -5. So that's -5 there on the rushing, -5 there on the receiving. That means he had 4 touches today for -10 yards from scrimmage. Miles Sanders, not a happy guy here in Charlotte or Carolina. And we'll just go ahead and touch on these other guys here. Xavier Legette and Jatavian Sanders, 2 rookies, all right? Look at 2 rookies. So now, Carolina Panther fans, you want to start having something to be looking forward to, something to have some, okay, there's some progress, there's some hope, because we need it. We've long needed to have some kind of hope here in Carolina. You have 2 rookies and a second-year player today in Bryce Young that showed a lot of promise, a lot of progress, a lot of, okay, this finally may be something that I'm not going to anoint them, but I say yes, 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 yes. Start to get excited about these guys out here. Xavier Legette, 4 catches on 6 targets and a touchdown. That's important there, getting a touchdown. Jatavian Sanders, 4 catches, 87 yards. And look at this over to the right here, that column there, 46-yard long. And how he got that 46 yards was impressive, right? We all miss Greg Olsen. We miss Greg setting the record for being the first tight end to have 3 consecutive 1,000-yard games. Jatavian Sanders shows that he doesn't mind contact. He's aggressive with the ball. He can actually run and block. You know, other 2 receivers, tight ends, or more like blocking type special tight ends. But Jatavian Sanders seems like he could be that tight end that it can run and can catch. So on that play, he caught the ball, saw the guy, jumped over him, and then not only jumped over him, but he kept his balance. That's like, how many guys do you see jump over and then keep their balance? That's a good skill set. He was able to do that, had that long, and love that. David Moore, 2 for 20. And again, I'll let you guys check out the rest there. Jalen, let's not forget Jalen Coker, who had 2 receptions, 36 yards on 3 targets. So he still has a really nice average on his reception there at 18. That's really, really good for him. And almost had that touchdown. So really good stuff today from the offense and the defense as well, and in the sense that the defense held enough. And we've been saying it, like, this defense, they need some help. Like, they're not going to get you the win. They can maybe, hopefully, and it took place today, played well enough that they kept the Saints from scoring their touchdowns. They kept them to field goals in that first quarter. And then you get a little production from the offensive side, and guess what? You can have a game in which we won like we did today, 23-22. And I'd be remiss if I did not give a big shout out. I know he's probably doing his own podcast right now, but for Rashad over at Panther Nation Podcast, we were talking pregame on our live show, and he said this game can be close. Might not be his exact words, but he said this game could be close. It could be won by the Carolina Panthers. And I was like, man, it's a lot that's going to have to happen for that. We're going to have to get some turnovers. We're going to have to do this. And we did it. So hat tip to Panther Nation Podcast, specifically Rashad there on predicting that and it coming to fruition today. Let's go ahead and take a look on the defensive side. Let me also give this some applause to my man, Damani Richardson. Talked to Damani in the locker room this past week. If you guys didn't see that, just be sure to check out the video. It's from our pregame show, in which I interviewed Damani. Said, hey, it's a trend here, man. Guys that start for the first time and rookies, they lead the team in tackles. And he led the team last week in tackles. And guess what? He said he wanted to get better. He said he wanted to continue to do more for his team. He did. He got double-digit tackles today. Damani Richardson, 12 tackles, 8 solo, 4 assists. Really good game by Damani Richardson. Charles Harris, Ashawn Robinson, Josie Jewell. And you see Charles Harris got that sack at the end of the game. Much needed, extremely on time. And, yeah, I'll let you guys soak in the rest of that there. But those are your stats from today's game. Let me see if I got a super chat as well that I'm absolutely positively going to get to here in just a second. But let me check out one other thing from this game today, which is I want to see the time of possession that we had. There's Andy Dalton, who I think stepped out of the tunnel last week as well. I don't know if he just does that traditionally with his wife and daughters. I don't know for sure. But let me check out this stat. I want to give you guys time of possession here for the day. Time of possession. Oh, man, I can't really tell which side is which. I'm going to say time. Okay, This is New Orleans. Time of possession, New Orleans Saints, 34 minutes, 19 seconds. Carolina Panthers, 24 minutes, 41 seconds. So we did lose the time of possession battle today, but we got the victory nevertheless. And, you know, it was a game of coming back. It was really a game of coming back. So let me check out the comments here for a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue to work through getting you guys up to date and in the know. I'm excited. I hope you all are excited, too, about this victory today. Go ahead and continue to cover this game as Andy Dalton is distracting me over here, having a good time taking pictures with, I don't know who, the daughters or Wise. I'm going to ask him about that in the locker room when I get a chance to. I wish I could turn the camera around, but if I do that, I'm going to mess up my guy that has me perfectly lined up, and maybe he'll walk by. What's up, man? That was Andy's kids. So I was going to see if I got his kids over here, then maybe Andy would walk over here, but it didn't happen yet. So we'll see. Well, I'll continue to work. Hey, man of the people, I got to do these things for you guys, right? Maybe I could just get Andy to give me a high five on camera so you guys can see him. But let me, before I go to these comments, what I said I was going to go to. Hey, a man of their word here. Let me play the super chat sound effect here. There we go. Super chat. Digit BR says, Chris, here is the $49 that I promised you the other day if the Panthers won today. I'm going to have to also give you a salute for that, a hat tip, much respect, because you did say that. I had forgot about it, but you are a person of your words, and thank you so much. I'm going to actually move that over to our GoFundMe page where we're collecting money to get some more equipment. But thank you so much for that super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Supporting independent media, we appreciate it. We're going to continue to earn your respect, earn your viewership by cranking out lots and lots of content. All right, let me see if I can touch on just a few questions here, and then I'm going to give you all some more of my wrap-up and opinions on this game. Go ahead and hit that like button. All right. Darrell says, keep pounding. I'm sure the energy was right. Yeah, it was cool, man, to hear the cheering going on here at the stadium. It was not a full house. I took a picture earlier. See if I can show you guys on my cell phone of what the stands looked like today. There were some empty spots. Let's see if I can show you. I probably can get it. Now, it's not going to be the best because it's my camera on a camera, but let's see if I can you don't have to do anything. There you go. You can see how spacey it was. Lots of blue, lots of gray in the seats there today here in Carolina. But those fans that were here, yes, they did have the energy. They did cheer on this team, and it was great, really great. All right, let's see who else we got here. Ali Bodrick says, welcome back. It feels good to get a win. Bryce looked good. Bryce Young did look good. Bryce Young looked great. And we're going to be talking about it here in just a second. Knucklehead K, what's up? I'm late, but I'm here. Feels kind of good to be on the – feels kind of good? Knucklehead, it feels definitely good. It feels great to be on this winning side. So thank you all very much. And Antonio, I'm going to press you a little bit, Antonio. Definitely much respect for you always coming onto the broadcast, showing a lot of love, supporting the likes and subscribes. Can we get a new member today? I feel like at the church. Can we get a new member today? Links in the description if you guys want to become a member. Another way to support the channel. But Antonio, appreciate you always saying, here you go. Antonio says like, subscribe, and share the stream. Do what Antonio says, please. And then we also got another new member here, relatively new member. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Your boy Kels. Happy that we got this win today, and I am as well. Okay, I got to put this one before I go into some more of my analysis. Let's leave Germany with 2 wins in a row. That would be good. We play Germany 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That time will be 3:30 Germany time, local. I'm not sure if it's 3:30 or 2:30. I think it actually might be 2:30 Germany time as we take on the New York Giants, who, let me see if I can also share with you guys the score from that game today with the Giants. All right, I got word. And is that in my ear? The Giants took an L today. Let me see if I can give you all the score for that Giants game. I heard you, Mr. Producer, but I can't hear you because you're not in my ear. What did you say the score was? 27-22 was the final score in that Giants game. Who did they play today? Commanders. Washington. And I was going to say, where would I be with that? I can't find it on the screen. Yeah, 27-22, Washington Commanders. So shouts out. I got to give a shout out to VJ, who has been working with us this year to help with the cameras, the lights, all the audio equipment and things like that, so that I can focus more on what I'm doing here. And he also is now helping me with the score updates. As you see, Brian, my co-host, is not here. Brian, if you're watching on that couch sick, I hope you continue to get better so we can see you back here. I think we play, I think Kansas City might be our first game after Germany. So we go to Germany, we have a bye, and then I strongly believe we play the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to let VJ zoom out wide here. You don't have to turn it, but you should be able to see Andy Dalton behind me in the gray sweatshirt. So there you go. You have it, proof that Andy Dalton is here, and I'm not just making up stuff, saying things, but Andy is here hanging out on the field with family and friends. So that's cool stuff, right? Andy, how you feeling? Andy, how you feeling? All right, let me go ahead and go through my recap of this game today. We had great field position in this game, especially in the first half. And that first half, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possessions, we had the ball crossing midfield 4 out of 5 times. So I know it says great field position. So we did have good field position as well. But the big thing was the progress that this offense showed in crossing midfield 4 out of 5 times. So that's something that I want to point out to you guys. Good progression today, right? Good steps. Continue to move forward. I think that's something that when it's all said and done, we're like, okay, we just want to see something getting better where there's some hope, there's some promise. And I strongly believe that you saw it today with a lot of things. And I'm starting out with saying, how do we move the ball? We moved the ball 4 out of 5 times in that first half, getting past midfield. Other things I want to point out that I like today. First quarter, it started out not looking good. Very first play, I think Alvin Kamara ran the ball about 20 yards up the field. And it was like, oh, man, here we go. Here we go. This rushing by the other team, this lack of some good big bodies or hog mollies, as Dave Gettleman used to call those guys up front. About to be another beatdown here in Carolina. But they, to the defense's credit, though they gave up a lot of yards and though they got into the red zone, they did not allow this New Orleans Saints team to score a touchdown. That was really, really important to have this game come out and be a victory for the Carolina Panthers. They didn't allow a touchdown. Saints get the ball back again, march down the field. Guess what? That red zone defense, they tightened up. They prevented the New Orleans Saints and Derek Carr from getting a touchdown, and it was a field goal. So that made it 6-0 in that that first quarter. And then what happens? Carolina finally, we were doing good, moving the ball, but this time we were able to, in the second quarter, move the ball and score. I think we actually scored on that opening drive in the second half to cut it to 7-6. And basically, from that point on, it was just a back-and-forth game. Really good game for the Carolina Panthers, and we actually built upon that. We scored 10 points, and I want to jump and send that touchdown was the second half. My apologies. Let me backtrack. That was in the second quarter that we got that touchdown, and then we also got a field goal in that second quarter, making it 10 points. And then we scored 7, and then we scored 6. When has the Carolina Panthers scored anything in 3 out of 4 quarters in a game? Where's Andy? There he is running with the kids. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see him, but there's Andy. It was not since Andy – well, Ellie got some soccer skills there too. Since Andy out in Las Vegas, I forget how many points – well, we're scoring multiple quarters, and now with Bryce Young, an applause to Bryce Young. Let me see if I can get the sound effects going here. Bryce Young's today 3 quarters out of 4 scoring the ball. So, again, good things that I like and saw from this Carolina Panthers team today and showing some progress. And by one more little footnote to that first quarter that was pretty bad, we only had 33 net yards in that first quarter, and we just built on it from there. Really good job. Really good job. All right. Other great things from this game. Let's go ahead and talk about Bryce Young. Should we trade Bryce Young? We're gonna make this a little interactive for everybody right now. Should we trade? What do you guys think that we should do with Bryce Young? Should we keep him? Should we trade him away? What should we do with Bryce Young as his backup is behind me playing with the kids? How is that for T? If you have not hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button, at least for Andy being some background visuals for you guys playing with the kids, all right? Go ahead and let me see what you guys think about Bryce Young. And then I'm going to go ahead and get into my thoughts for Bryce Young. I know there's about a 30-second delay, so I'll give you all a second. And, again, you can continue to enjoy watching Andy Dalton play with his kids and family in the background as we wait for it. And I also got to do this. I got a lot of kids. 4 is now part of the Jenkins family, and we have birthdays that started in September. It was Cyrus's birthday in September. It was Sierra's birthday in November. Cyrus 3, Sierra 1. Chandler, my oldest, his birthday is November. His birthday's in a couple of days. So, Chandler, if you're watching, happy upcoming 24th birthday to you, buddy. Love you very much. He's also in the Marines, so salute to you, young man. And then we got my birthday, and then Cameron's birthday coming up here in January. But, all right, so we got a few comments here. One says, T. Green says, keep Bryce. Okay, keep Bryce is what T. Green says. And then Queen's Yarn Boutique says, keep Bryce. All right, here's what's interesting. What is interesting is after the game, our guy Dave Canales comes up to the podium, and he would not name Bryce Young the starting quarterback in Germany versus the New York Giants. Dave, why would you not continue to give this young guy the confidence that he deserves, the confidence that he needs, and let him hear his head coach after he wins his first game underneath you, name him your starting quarterback? That's a flag for me. I'm going to throw the flag on Canales for that. Again, you have a guy that has struggled. You have a guy that it was before he got here, but this team traded away a lot of assets to get Bryce Young, DJ Moore, draft picks. They still got draft picks that they hold to Chicago for getting Bryce. And it was looking like you might have to get rid of this guy, that he's going to be a bust. And I'm not saying this is his anointing today, that he is now it. But I certainly say, hey, name him your starting quarterback. You don't have to do it for the rest of the season. But the guy's excited. He just won his first game at home. Give him that vote of confidence. Dave, I think you should have done that. I think you should have gave him the starting nod, but he didn't give it to him. We're going to wait and see, and I'll report to you guys when that happens. But I say at this point, I was asking you guys about, hey, should we trade Bryce at this point? What should we do with him? Yeah, keep him. Keep Bryce Young at this point. Let him play. See if he can continue to grow. And it seemed like to me, I really felt this. I put a note forward to talk about it with you guys. When Jatavian Sanders caught that ball, and then he jumped over the defender and ran the ball, it just seemed like at that point, all the rookies, like, I just felt like it was like this let's go, this click, and this excitement. And Bryce just continued to flourish after that. He hit Oh, my goodness. I'm forgetting who he tried to hit. I think it was David Moore that he threw another deep ball to, and Moore caught it, and it was not – if that's the wrong guy, I apologize. I'm not 100% sure. I did not write it in my notes, but I remember the play. Nice ball. He caught it, and then the defender knocked it out of his hands, and it would have been a touchdown, but it was not. And I just felt like at that point it continued to be excitement between Coker, Leggett, Sanders, and Bryce is a second-year guy just continuing to gel. And Bryce Young today definitely looked like a guy that was very confident, and his balls today looked so much different than before, right? He was throwing the ball downfield. I got to say pause, I guess, for some of you out there regarding that, so there's your pause. But he was throwing passes in which it stood out to me, I don't know if it did to you all when you were watching, that Bryce was throwing these balls and he was putting air up under them. And it was almost as if I wondered, like, did he have a conversation with his receivers to say, hey, I'm going to be giving you guys chances today, right? A lot of these passes just look, maybe even before the end of the route that you would normally look, because I might throw it up. Because he threw jump balls kind of to people several times, and the receivers, each time that he did it, played it extremely well. And Datavian caught one, Leggett caught one, I think even Coker caught one, those type of passes. And I don't recall seeing passes like that from Bryce this year or before today, where he's throwing mid to deep passes with that jump ball kind of effect to it. So lots of good stuff that I saw from Bryce today, and I hope that he can continue to build on it. I've been critical of the guy. He has not been performing well until recently. But, hey, got to call it like I see it now. He is playing better, and we need to continue to stay with Bryce. Other things that I noticed today, Coker did good running after catch. I already talked about this. Coker, Jatavian, and, yeah, good thing. So a few things that I didn't like today. There were some things I didn't like, some things you guys may have not liked as well. And we got, let's see, I'm going to try to save some time for a few questions before we get out of here today. Hey, wouldn't it be awesome if Andy's and his family run into me here on the sidelines? Is Andy still out here? Yes, Andy is still out here. That is crazy. I'm going to step to the side just for a second so you guys can see this. So we'll give him some privacy here. You don't have to zoom in on it, but now I don't see him. Okay, yeah, it's hard to see. He's a little bit in the back there, but there's Andy Dalton and some fans out here running around. Andy, there you go. Andy just caught the ball, playing with the family. That's really cool, man. I'm a big guy that loves family, so I'm assuming this is just some good family time for him and a moment for him that he comes out here, let the kids run out on the field. Really cool stuff. I forget where I was here. Oh, some things I didn't like. So this jet sweep reverse type stuff, it can work. It does work. But I feel like Dave Canales went to the well on this way too many times. I feel like his mistake with the play calling in that regard today was he ran it the first time and it worked. And instead of waiting to the second quarter, the third quarter, like, I don't know, just waiting until there were so many plays that happened before. He went back to it pretty soon, and it never worked after the first time. I think he might have went to it another 3 or 4 times. Definitely, I'm going to definitely say he ran it 4 times. It worked 1. In the next 3, it was terrible results. So I didn't like all this jet sweep reverse type stuff that he continued to try to do in this game today. Also, on the defensive side, it seemed like they were about to let Taysom Hill get to rolling, right? It was Taysom Hill, when he lines up in the Wildcat, you know what's coming. It's almost like when Jonathan Mingo comes in for the Carolina Panthers at this point. If Jonathan Mingo comes in, you know it's probably going to be a run play. It's not going to be a pass play. But Taysom Hill came in and just turned on my hand warmer here, unless it died on me. Oh, man, I guess my hand warmer died on me. But Taysom Hill came in, Wildcat, and on more than one occasion, he got the first down. So I know, got to also tip my hat to Taysom that he's an exceptional athlete that can run the ball, that can pass the ball, that can block. And this guy plays on special teams. I don't know what his salary is for the Saints. I think he now has a pretty good contract finally for the Saints. But that guy's a phenomenal athlete, did some good things. And also on the defensive side, even though we got the victory, we still gave up too many yards rushing. Still got to get tighter and up front with the guys. You know, you might say, hey, that's where Derek Brown is 1,000% being missed there. Alvin Kamara had almost 100 yards rushing in that first half. They did better in that second half, holding him just to about, I think, 63. So I think technically it was about 93 in that first half, and ended up being about the same thing in that second half, about 63 yards rushing. Over 150, I think, is what Kamara had. I can actually give you the total. Let me see if I can quickly give you guys the total for Kamara so I can speak clearly on that regards. But Alvin Kamara had a total of 29 carries, 155 yards. Derek Carr finished 18 of 31 with 236 yards, 1 touchdown. And I believe it was Olave that got the concussion today. Yeah, so Olave left the game. Olave left the game today with a concussion. And they took him to, I believe it was Atrium Health, to get further evaluation, and he was able to check out of the hospital today before the Falcons, before the Saints went home. So he is with them on that plane ride back to New Orleans. So that's good to hear that Olave, again, was released from the hospital after being taken there for further evaluation and is flying home with the team tonight for New Orleans. So I want to make sure I gave you that news regarding the New Orleans Saints. Well, we're going to get into some questions here. A few minutes that we'll have left on the show. And again, like the video, subscribe. The more you like it, the more fans that can discover us. The more fans discover us, the bigger we can grow. The bigger we can grow, the more that we can do covering this Carolina Panthers team for you guys. And we are going to be in Germany. Both myself and our photographer, Patrick, will be going to Germany Wednesday, covering this team. You know, we're going to be just a hair short of what CNN is like with their 24/7 news coverage. We're going to try to give you tons and tons and tons of coverage of this Carolina Panthers team when they go to Germany. And if you are able to contribute to our GoFundMe, links in the description to help support us get more of these headsets so all three of us can have them, that'll be greatly appreciated. So let's go ahead and get into some questions and comments that we have over here as VJ starts to shimmy over there. As he is cold. I don't know why the young man did not put on a coat today, but nevertheless, he's doing his thing helping us out here. Let's try to go over a few questions that we have here today. Lots of excitement, so let's go. From Juju's show. Juju also agreeing here, our rookies are looking great. Shout out to them for stepping up. Indeed, indeed. Rookies are stepping up. Will, sounds like he'll be here in December. Which game are you going to? Let me know. And anytime you guys can stop by and say hello in our pregame show. We do film the pregame show for the home games outside of the stadium. Right, I forget what side of the stadium it's called, like north, south, east, or west. But it's where the Honeywell building is. So if you're very easy building to find, it's the closest tall building to the stadium. But if you ever have a chance to come to a game and you have the opportunity to be here early enough, because we do the show 2 hours before the game to 1 hour, so that's up until 12 o'clock. Come by the Honeywell building and say hello. I'd love to meet you. Thank you for your support of the channel. All right, second gen Shaper said, showing improvement. Good progression from last week. Probably need a true offensive coordinator calling plays. So there you go. You don't like Brett. So Dave Canales is the one calling plays during the game. Man, my neck's getting stiff out here. It is kind of cold. Dave Canales is the one calling the plays. Brad Isaac is the one that is our offensive coordinator. What's up, Jamie Earl? Appreciate you. Keep pounding as well. Here we go. Some more love for the rookies. Kenneth, the rookie, stepped up big today. Shouts out to JT, Leggett, Coker, Richardson. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even Thank you for talking about Richardson. I talked a lot about those guys on the offensive side, but Damani Richardson, not only a rookie, but an undrafted free agent doing his thing out there. And Trevin Wallace. Man, Kenneth, you need to come on the show, man. You helped me remember all the rookies. So, again, shout out to JT, Jadavian Sanders, Xavier Legette, Coker, Damani Richardson, and Trevin Wallace. All 5 doing very solid with their contributions to the team today, and that is great. T. Green says, I would have kicked that field goal instead of going for 2 when there was plenty of time left on the clock, but the defense played good. Well, here's the thing, T. Green. They could have kicked the field goal, and that would have had them up by 2. That doesn't do anything for you, right? So if they come back and they score a field goal, we're still losing the game. Whether they go for 1 and make it or not, they're still losing the game with a field goal. So what going for 2 did was, if they had made it, it would have given them the opportunity to say, hey, now field goal doesn't win it for the New Orleans Saints. That field goal only ties it. So that's a little bit of reason there, T. Green, on that. Shannon Tyler says, keep pounding, Chris. Great game, but that Legette interception really hurt my feelings because that was a TD. No, it would not have been a TD because he was definitely tackled on it. He would have been tackled regardless. But it definitely was an exciting play that turned into a head-scratcher that turned into a darn for the Carolina Panthers. I wonder how long Andy is going to be. This is what I can promise you. I'm going to talk to Andy once I get off the air to ask him what this is about. I think it's pretty cool. I just want to ask him, what is it about? All right, let's continue to rock through these. Got time for 2 more questions before we get out of here. 2 more comments, we'll see. I'm trying to see if I can read this name here. Brother, I can't read this, but shout out to everyone in the chat, including Charlotte Vibe. Keep up a good work on the channel. Appreciate it. And shout out from South Bronx, Brooklyn, BKL Kataris, a.k.a. Sport Entertainment Guy. All right. All right. Appreciate you so much as well for tuning in, checking us out, and welcome to the South. Keep Bryce and let him build with the young receivers. Clearly that's what needs to happen, but they will fumble it. Don't say that, Raleigh. Don't say that, Raleigh. I like that, and I agree with you. Certainly Bryce is young, Legette is young, Coker's young, Jatavian Sanders is young. If you drafted all those guys to be here, if you thought that they would be an impact on your team, then absolutely 1,000% keep it rolling. As long as the wheels don't fall off, but, keep it rolling. I think there's some good momentum. Great that they play the New York Giants next, and that's a team that is quite beatable. And then we got a tough stretch. Let me go ahead and pull up this schedule because I forget it off the top of my head. Even though some of you out there might say, well, we don't consider the Dallas Cowboys a tough opponent anymore. But I'm just going to read to you the remaining schedule at this point. We, again, travel over to to Germany to take on New York. Then we do come back and play the Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, again the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then ending with the Atlanta Falcons. So it's a little bit of a challenging schedule there to finish out the season. All right. And we love positivity. Boss Kingman says, I like your show. I appreciate you, boss. Let's see if I can show you. Let's end on this note here of yeah. Man, again, shout out to our photographer Patrick Snyder. Great photographs from the game here in Charlotte as the Carolina Panthers once again were victorious. and knocking off the New Orleans Saints, climbing to 2-6. Is that right? I forget. Yeah, game 8. I feel like it's 2-7. I feel like this was game 9. Climbing to 2-7, and I'll let you again. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys close with a little view of the field here, and one Andy Dalton. I'm going to see if I can go ask him what this tradition is all about here once I get off the air. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, tell a friend. Chris Jenkins reporting live from Charlotte, North Carolina for Charlotte Vibe.